Am I the a-hole for telling my ex's new boyfriend she cheated on me with 2 guys while we were together? So, I, 25 male, was in a relationship with Kate, 27 female, for about a year and a half. We lived together, had joint savings, the whole setup like we were building a life together. I honestly thought we were solid and planning a future. Then she went on a girls' trip to Tulum. When she came back a week later, she looked completely off, like she'd just come face to face with her own conscience. She sat me down and said she needed to be honest about something. That's when she told me she had cheated. Twice. Once with a guy from her yoga class, the same guy she always said was like a brother. And once with some random guy she met on the beach and connected with under the moonlight. Yes, she actually said that. I moved out the very next day, blocked her on everything, focused on myself, went full monk mode, no contact, no drama, just peace and healing. A few months go by and I get a DM from some guy. Let's call him Zach. Turns out, Zach is her new boyfriend. He messages me saying, "Hey man, I hope this isn't weird, but I know you used to date Kate. I just wanted to ask if she was faithful to you. She told me you were emotionally distant and kind of checked out." My first reaction was, seriously? But I didn't respond right away. I sat with it for a few hours, thinking it through. But the fact that he was asking me at all probably meant he already sensed something wasn't right. So I decided to just be honest. I replied, she cheated on me twice. Once with a guy she told me not to worry about, and once with a rando on vacation. You can believe whatever you want, but that's what happened. Good luck. No name-calling, no pettiness, just the truth. He read the message but didn't reply. A little while later, she texts me, and she's furious. "I can't believe you're still trying to ruin my life. That was so inappropriate. I thought you were better than this." Now I'm sitting here wondering, did I do something wrong? I wasn't trying to start problems. The guy literally asked me a direct question. I gave a calm, truthful answer. But somehow I'm now the villain in her healing story. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You didn't sign an NDA when you broke up. You owe her nothing. And an honest and faithful man asked you point blank. You told the truth and were very fair with your response. You didn't sign an NDA when you broke up. No, but I'm sure Instagram will think otherwise. You don't need to lie for her. You just told the truth. If that makes her look bad, that's on her. Yep, the same thing happened with an ex. He SA'd me, and when he started dating someone else, I made sure she knew about it and that he had a court order for abuse as well. I didn't want someone else ending up like me. Don't like people knowing what you did? Then you shouldn't have done it. Not the a-hole. Her new boyfriend asked you and you told him what's up. If anything, she shouldn't be a cheater. This is what annoys me most about people like her. They cheat on their partners and then think that they should get a perfectly clean slate and face no further repercussions once that relationship ends. No, you're a cheater, and future partners should be able to decide whether or not they want to take the risk on being with you knowing that fact. Not the a-hole. You did exactly the right thing. Her actions had consequences. Too bad for her. I actually feel sorry for him. You gave him a chance, actually cared about that person. You did more positive for him than what this disgusting cheater ever did or is capable of. I'm proud of you. You did great. Not the a-hole. Bro code for the win. For the win. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to beg my son-in-law not to divorce my daughter after she cheated? About a month ago, my daughter's sister-in-law Ari suspected that my daughter was having an affair with a family friend named James. Ari brought it to the family's attention. I confronted my daughter directly, and she completely denied it. I gave her a strong warning about how damaging an affair would be, not just to her marriage, but also to our family's reputation. Her husband, my son-in-law, has always been good to her and to us. I reminded her of all his kindness and support. She assured me it was just a false accusation and promised she would never do such a thing. I then went to speak to my son-in-law personally. I told him I believed it was a false accusation and that he shouldn't let rumors ruin his marriage. After some deep conversations, he agreed to move past it. Fast forward to 3 weeks later, I got a sudden call from my son-in-law telling me to come over immediately. He didn't explain anything and hung up. I was scared and called my daughter, but my son-in-law picked up instead. When I asked about my daughter, he said she was fine, but my presence was needed. When I got there, he showed me evidence. He had linked her WhatsApp to his phone and showed me some inappropriate chats between her and James, including plans to meet at his house. She had lied to him, saying she was going to a friend's place, Rose, a hairstylist, to get her hair done. The messages were explicit and set to disappear after 24 hours. I was so ashamed and disappointed in her. After everything we talked about, after her denial and my defense of her, she still did it. Now my son-in-law is filing for divorce. A couple of days ago, my daughter came home crying, begging me to go with her to plead with her husband to reconsider. I told her no, I'm not going to do such a thing. She betrayed not just her husband, but everyone who stood up for her. Later that evening, her friend Rose called me, saying I was being too harsh and that even if she did wrong, I should still show her love and support as a mother. Please, what do you think? I love my daughter, but I'm deeply hurt, and I don't think I should humiliate myself by begging a man she betrayed not to leave her. Now for the top comments. The relationship is over. All you can do by talking to him is to prolong the pain. Your daughter did not have an accident. This was deliberate. She had warning that she was about to get caught, which should have made her say, yeah, this ends right now, but instead she went and did more, rather than acting to protect her marriage. You will not be helping her by getting her husband to postpone the inevitable. Approach it from that direction. Thank you so much. I don't even have the courage to stand before him and say a word. As someone who has been cheated on, if you had the audacity to do so, you would just anger him more. This kind of thing never ever works. It would only make things worse. The more people try to blame or pressure him into forgiving her, the more people act like he's the villain, because he won't just forgive and forget, because he dares to stand up for himself and let her deal with real consequences. The more angry and hurt he'll be, and the worse the fallout will get. He's leaving her, as he should. She should have been a better human being. She wasn't. This is the consequence. You are not the a-hole. You can still love your daughter without supporting her poor decisions. You can be there for her throughout the divorce, but you are not obligated to try and fix her wrongs. Precisely this. You didn't step out on the marriage. You didn't break your vows. Actions have consequences, and your daughter needs to sleep in the bed she made for herself. At this point in your life as the parent of an adult, it's not your job anymore to fix her problems. Your job should be to give advice only if asked. Step back and allow your daughter to fall and hopefully learn from her poor choices and decisions. Don't set yourself on fire to keep her warm. Mama, this is not your battle to fight. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend sex with her isn't great despite her experience? So, cards on the table. My girlfriend has a pretty open past when it comes to her sex life. She was pretty promiscuous before we started dating. I knew this going in because we were kind of acquaintances before we ever got together. It wasn't a secret, and she didn't hide who she was. To be honest though, this has always been a bit of an insecurity for me. I've only ever been with 2 other women before her, and both were long-term relationships. So compared to her, I have a lot less experience, and it's something I've been working through quietly. She knows this. I've been open with her about how I feel, but I've never asked her to change anything or tone anything down. I just wanted to be honest about where I'm at emotionally. As for our sex life, it's okay. Not terrible by any means, but if I'm being 100% honest, my previous relationships had more passion, more intensity. I'm not trying to compare her to my exes, and I've never brought them up to her, but it's hard not to notice the difference. We've talked about it a couple of times, how I'd like things to feel a little more connected, a bit more enthusiastic. But despite the conversations, I haven't really seen much change. Then a few nights ago, she was watching this YouTube video that was basically about how guys who end up dating or marrying women who've had a lot of sexual experience should feel lucky. The idea was that we, as men, get to benefit from all the skills and knowledge gained from those previous experiences. She turned to me and casually asked if I agreed with that idea, and I froze. I didn't want to start a thing, so I just said, "Yeah, I do." But she could tell I wasn't being honest. She pressed me on it. She said she wanted the truth, so I gave it to her. I told her that, honestly, I don't really feel that way. That while I do enjoy being with her, I've never really felt like her supposed experience translated into our sex life. That it's fine, it's fun, but it's not something I'd describe as passionate or exciting compared to what I've experienced in the past. And if anything, I don't think her experience has made much of a difference. Now she's upset, hurt. I get it, and I don't blame her for being mad. But what was I supposed to do? Just lie to her face to protect her feelings? I wasn't trying to insult her. I was just being honest because she asked. I didn't bring this up out of nowhere. I answered a question honestly when pushed. Now I'm stuck wondering, did I handle this wrong? Should I have just kept quiet or lied and avoided all of this? I feel like I tried to be honest without being cruel, but now I'm the bad guy. Sounds like she is a pillow princess or starfish. Yeah, pretty much. Effort goes both ways, and experience isn't always what you think it is. Someone with one long-term partner can be more experienced than someone with 21 nightstands, because with one long-term partner and improving with feedback, with one-time hookups, you aren't getting feedback, just doing the same thing with different people. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around that, to be honest. With both my exes, while it did get better, sex was never an issue at all, even before any feedback. Okay, but lots of experience isn't the same as long-term partners where you can actually grow and learn things. Exactly. It's all about quality and growing together, not just the number of experiences. Not the a-hole. A high number of partners doesn't mean she's good at anything other than saying yes. Being a passionate lover is wildly different than being a promiscuous one. Bingo. Someone could have 15 vacuum cleaners in their house. It's not a guarantee their carpets are going to be cleaner than someone who has one. Last story. Am I the a-hole for giving my boyfriend an ultimatum after finding him cuddling with his homeless female best friend? I, 24 female, never thought I'd end up in this kind of situation, but here we are. My boyfriend, 26 male, and I have been together for 3 years now, and we've been living together for the past year. Everything was going well until about a month ago. That's when his childhood best friend, 25 female, got dumped by her boyfriend. She apparently had nowhere to go, and my boyfriend asked if she could crash with us for a few days. I didn't want to be cold, so I agreed. A few days. I figured she'd regroup, get back on her feet, and move on. But it's been 4 weeks, a whole month, and she's shown absolutely no sign of leaving. Not only is she still here, but she's also become incredibly comfortable, almost too comfortable. She's always been kind of overly attached to my boyfriend. You know the type. Constant inside jokes, always touching his arm when she laughs, giving off this, "we're just so close" energy. It always rubbed me the wrong way, but I tried not to be the jealous girlfriend. I gave her space. I tried to be understanding. But yesterday was my final straw. I came home early from work because I had a migraine and just wanted to lie down. I walk into my apartment and see them on the couch, all cozied up. She had her head resting on his shoulder, and he was literally playing with her hair. On our couch, in our home, watching his favorite show. The kind of show we usually watch together. I didn't even say anything at first. I just stood there for a moment, feeling like my head was about to explode for more reasons than just the migraine. I finally snapped and told her she had 24 hours to get out of the apartment. I wasn't yelling, I was done. Just calmly done. My boyfriend freaked out. He said I was being dramatic and that this is how they've always been. He kept insisting that nothing was going on and I should trust him and not overreact. But honestly, I don't even care if nothing's technically happening. Emotional boundaries matter too. The fact that he thinks it's okay to be that physically affectionate with another woman, especially one staying in our home, rent-free for a month, is already too much. So I told him, either she goes or I do. Simple. That's when he really lost it. Called me toxic and controlling. And then came the phone calls. His parents called to say I was being heartless. asking how I could just kick a poor girl out while she's in an emotional crisis. And even my own mom said I should have tried to have a calm, mature conversation instead of dropping an ultimatum. But like, seriously? Am I crazy for not wanting another woman curled up with my boyfriend, getting her hair played with, in my living room? Am I just supposed to sit back and be the cool, chill girlfriend while this girl basically moves into my relationship? Because right now, I feel like I'm losing my mind, and no one's seeing how messed up this is. So, am I the a-hole for kicking out my boyfriend's friend and giving him an ultimatum? Because honestly, it's starting to feel like he already made a choice. Now for the top comments. Nope, not the a-hole. You can act like that when you are single. When you have a partner, you stop all that out of respect to the relationship. You know this was not innocent. Exactly. Funny how it's innocent only starts getting thrown around when they get caught. If my partner was playing with another girl's hair on our couch, he'd be packing his bags mid-stroke. For real, ain't no way you're stroking another girl's hair in our home and thinking you're sleeping here after. That's not innocent. That's straight up disrespect. Throw his cheating butt out too. Best girlfriend my butt. They always say that. Exactly. In my experience, this whole best guy friend or girl best friend thing is more common than people realize, and developing feelings for each other usually happens 99% of the time, whether they admit it to themselves or not. It's exactly why I stopped dating women who have best guy friends, because of this exact scenario right here. I was eventually cheated on by the same guy best friend she told me not to worry about. I've had other experiences with the whole guy best friend nonsense, and I will not stand for it. It's a huge boundary for me personally. I literally ask up front if they have one, and if they say yes, I pretty much end the conversation there. I just say we're incompatible because of the whole guy best friend thing, or decline a second date. Not the a-hole OP. Break up with him so he can have her, and you can find someone who actually cares about you and won't make you feel like you're second to his girl best friend and their antics. I'll take the downvotes. I don't care. Also, I know I'll probably get comments like, well, you can't have a girl best friend either. I don't. That's the thing. I personally find it very inappropriate to have best friends of the opposite sex, so I hold myself to the same standard. I set clear boundaries with the women I know or meet and tell them I have a partner when I'm in a relationship.